Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hollywood Hubbies Film Club.
I'm Jeffrey.
And I'm Brandon. Last week we did our review of Moulin Rouge. We hope everyone enjoyed. We appreciate everyone's support out there in listening. We officially crossed the 1K stream milestone, which is pretty awesome, I think, right, babe?
Yes, totally. For those of you who are just joining us, we are reviewing AFI's top 25 movie musicals of all time. At the end of every episode, we will be spinning the wheel to give us our movie for the next episode. That way, you can watch along with us.
So cozy on up with us as we dance cheek to cheek while we review this week's episode of Top Hat. Top Hat was released in 1935. It is a musical comedy directed by Mark Sandrett and was written by Alan Scott and Dwight Taylor, with songs by Irving Berlin. The film was produced by RKO, and it was adapted by the original 1911 play A Scandal in Budapest. The film stars Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire. Astaire and Rogers made 9 films together at RKO Pictures. Some other faves include The Gay Divorcee, Roberta, Follow the Fleet, and Shall We Dance? Top Hat was the most successful picture of the Astaire and Rogers partnership and was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress in 1990 as being culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant to movie musicals.
I know that they had actually done a 10th movie, not with RKO, a little bit later with MGM, called The Berkeleys of Broadway. It was kind of a reunion for them. Fred Astaire was supposed to do a movie with Judy Garland, and she was not able to. During rehearsals, they realized she was not well enough to make the movie, and so the producer Arthur Freed had actually contacted Ginger Rogers and asked her if she'd be interested to reunite with Fred Astaire, which she did, and I mean, I think that's kind of cool.
Yeah, especially because, well, I mean, didn't Judy kind of have this reputation of having to be replaced sometimes in movies?
Um, well, I know she had a lot going on in her life, and I think around that time she was battling a lot with, alcoholism and drug addiction. And
Yeah, and MGM obviously, I mean, that they obviously didn't want to give up on her.
no, I mean, that was definitely towards the end of her run at MGM, sadly. And yeah, they just realized during rehearsal she was just not physically and, mentally well enough to do the movie. And those, like, Fred Astaire movies are going to be high
High energy,
high
fast
intensity.
paced. Yeah,
So
seriously.
yeah, I mean, they knew. I guess the producer just knew off. Why not try to get them together for this movie? Like, it would be easy to pop her in, and we
Yeah,
already know they have such great chemistry. But I just thought that was a cool thing to bring up.
yeah, makes sense.
I mean, not cool the Judy Garland part. That's sad, but cool that they were able to do a 10th movie together.
Yeah, definitely. We should definitely put that on the list of movies to watch.
For sure. All right, so the film Top Hat was nominated for 4 Academy Awards: Best Picture, Art Direction, Dance Direction, and Original Song, Cheek to Cheek by Irving Berlin. Fun fact, there's a stage version by the same name that opened in 2011, touring the UK before transferring to London's West End. The stage musical won multiple Laurence Olivier Awards after receiving 7 nominations.
Very cool. Have we never gotten a U.S. tour of that?
I've never heard of it coming over here. I know that after we watched this movie, we kind of checked out some clips and it looked really cool. It looked like they just tried to preserve that, like, era,
Yeah,
like the costumes and everything, the set, the whole feeling of it just looked like they were like, let's not try to fix something.
yeah, let's not tamper with it too much.
Yeah.
It was very like Grand Hotel looking, like
Hmm.
very, very screen to stage in the way it looked. But I have listened to the soundtrack of it, and it's really, really, really beautiful. I mean, you can't go wrong with Irving Berlin music. Come on.
Yeah, and I feel like they've done this quite a couple times, especially with, like, Irving Berlin and, like, Cole Porter, where if it's a musical or a movie that they may want to, like, revive or make a new stage play of, they have so many other songs that they can add
Oh,
into.
definitely.
Because I feel like maybe I could be wrong, but maybe musicals back in that era didn't have as many songs in it, because I feel like why else would they need to go back and like add more? Like for Anything Goes, like for Cole Porter, that was a musical back in the 30s. And then when they revived it, you hear that they added all these other songs. So I'm like, oh, there must not have been as many songs back in the day. Like maybe it was more
Agreed.
acting scenes. I don't know.
Totally agree. And actually, that's one of the things that gets mentioned. I mean, as we're going through this, I put a note in here about that, about how you almost are hungry for more music in this, you know?
Well, I know for movies for sure, but I'm saying even for like stage,
Oh, for like the original productions.
yeah, because
Oh,
like
gotcha.
I think that maybe also stage musicals that they've revived probably had that same issue where maybe they just had less songs. I could be wrong,
No,
but
I
I
think you're
just
right.
feel like
No, I
when
absolutely
you
think you're
hear
right.
of like revivals of certain musicals from the stage from
Mhm.
way back in the day, they go and they add new songs or write new songs because they need to fill up more time for more musical numbers.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, even looking back at things like Chicago or Kiss of the Spider Woman, there are songs that are written as almost like interludes sometimes. Oh, but that later on, when they do revivals, they expand on them, or they recompose them to make them heartier numbers. So rather than an interlude of 30 seconds, you're now going to get a 3-minute song out of it, you know? So I think you're right. So had you ever seen this movie before? And if so, what was your first or fondest memory of it?
You know, I actually do not think that I had ever seen this movie. I know that I have definitely seen these dance numbers multiple times, like online, on YouTube, in documentaries, like
Mm-hmm.
just like I feel like especially the final dance number of
Mm-hmm.
Top Hat
Mm-hmm.
is kind of like the pinnacle number you think of when you think of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Like that, I think that is one of their most classic numbers that people bring up when they talk about their career.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I think that I've seen these dance performances numerous times, and you know, and how wonderful they are. I don't recall ever having seen the movie,
Mm-hmm.
so I know that when we were getting ready to watch the movie the other night, I don't know why I had this feeling in the back of my head, like, okay, this is gonna be difficult. I don't know why. I think that
Well, it is
like,
quite old, babe.
well, yeah, and I think that like to when I think of movies or like uh, movies that I've watched in the past, for some reason, I've never been, not that I hate them, I've never been the biggest fan of musicals from the 30s. Like when it comes to like straight comedies or straight dramas, I love films from the 30s and 40s. That's kind of like my era that I love to watch, just like classic films. When it comes to like musicals, I feel like the ones that I gravitate towards are closer to like after the 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. So I had that kind of preconceived notion like, oh, this is going to be like rough to write notes on, because I thought it was going to be just like paper thin, like nothing to really build off of. So I was like, all right, let's do it. And then it started, and the entire time I just loved it so much, way more than I thought it was going to, that at the end I was like, wow, that was a really good movie. And I mean, obviously, like it's on the list of top 25 movie musicals for a reason, but it really it shocked me how much I liked it. So if that's my fondest memory, then it's the first time I watched it, I loved it.
Well, I think that that's awesome. I mean, especially considering, as you said, there are certain types of movie musicals that you have gravitated towards in your life growing up. There are certain movie musicals I have gravitated towards. You know, a lot of it influenced by my family and my mom in particular, because I was very much more hooked on the 60s and 70s type musicals like
Mhm.
Jesus Christ Superstar or West Side Story. You know, I as well, like you, um, do not remember ever seeing this musical before in its entirety. I definitely have seen dance clips before. I know I've seen some of the clips about the main plot of Mistaken Identities, but I don't know if I've ever seen this film in its entirety. And yeah, I mean, like, Turner Classic, like they all, whenever they talk about movie musicals, this is definitely one that gets brought up and is an example that they use for a classic style that was just done back in that day of these grand musicals. But I agree with you. I really went into it just with an open mind, like you did. Like, okay, like let's see what this is, and agreed. I felt it flew by because it was so interesting, and it's also the concept and the plot. It's not that crazy,
No.
you know. It's a very fun mistaken identities love kind of triangle hexagon that's
Mhm.
going on.
I mean, that part of my preconceived notion was correct. The plot was paper thin.
Mhm.
Like, mistaken identity, that's it. So, like, okay, that part great, but like everything around it, like the script, the banter, the supporting characters, like everybody was so good and so funny, and I didn't ever feel like it was dragging at all.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it really flew by. So our plot opens with the titles and credits screen. We begin with an opening sequence. It shows like the shiny dance floor, and it shows two dancers dancing, like just kind of gliding around. But it only shows them from the waist down. So it's this illusion that the camera is doing, where you don't see the dancers' faces. You only see them from the waist down, and the camera's almost like swirling with them, and it finally dissolves into a shot of a black top hat. Now, the opening sequence here, babe, like classic overture with a sprinkling of Berlin tunes. I, I'm a sucker for it. I'm a sucker for opening up a musical with a little poo poo platter of some songs you're gonna hear throughout the musical. How are you with that?
I like it. I mean, it's just whether it's a movie or whether it's on stage, like I love when you get a little, bits and pieces of what's to come. And I mean, Irving Berlin has written some of the best songs in,
Ever.
ever. I don't, not even just a particular list, just ever. So, I mean, I'm here for it. It kind of sets you up for what this movie's about to be. It's going to be glitzy, sparkly. It's
Right?
going to be
Dancey.
tuxedos and gowns.
Right?
Like, just it's going to be pretty eye candy. So,
Right?
I'm here for it.
So the top hat represents really like the dignified man that's part of the stately Thackeray Club, founded in 1864.
The Stuffy Old Men Club.
Yes, yes, Stuffy Old Men Club, where silence is something that they all strictly observe. The atmosphere is like so quiet that even like the slightest like cough or crackling of newspaper, it basically disrupts all of the older men in the club.
Who
The
wants to go there?
Yeah, seriously,
Like,
the Stuffy Old Men Club.
I just
Yeah, I don't get
nothing.
it
I mean,
either.
I understand it's part of the bit. Like, okay,
But like,
but
why was that appealing?
like, nothing about that was appealing.
So weird. We zoom in on the rustling of some newspaper that belongs to an American by the name of Jerry Travers. Travers is played by Fred Astaire. He's a celebrated Broadway dancer that's making his London debut that next evening. He's waiting to be picked up by his like high-strung producer of the London Dance Review. His name is Horace Hardwick. He's played by Edward Horton. When Hardwick departs the club with Jerry, um, he he does a little bit of like a tap dance number, as it's not even really a number. He just does like a quick little like tap dance over like the hushed atmosphere that like awakens and like disturbs all of all of the like
He just wants to
stuffy.
get under their skin.
Yeah, and I think that it was just like a quick little. It's like just a quick little hint of what we know that Fred Astaire is here for and is in this movie for. It reminded me of Frank Sinatra in Guys and Dolls that we reviewed, and how you don't waste any time to let the audience know like why Frank Sinatra's in the movie. So we're just going to throw a song at you real quick. Like you're not going to get that much intro into him. You're going to get a song. It felt very much like that because he just does like this quick little like tap dance. Um, so in Hardwick's hotel later that evening, Hardwick tells Jerry that his wife Madge, played by Helen Broderick,
I loved her.
she
was so hilarious.
Tells Jerry that his wife expects Jerry to fly down with Horace over the weekend to the Lido, which is a seaside resort near Venice, Italy, where she's basically vacationing, and Madge plans to have Jerry meet for like matchmaking purposes. She has a young friend, and Hardwick suggests that, free-spirited Jerry should consider marrying and settling down. That classic back and forth banter that we get in these Hollywood movies about out with the bachelor life, time to grow up, kid, which is funny because I don't think was Fred that young in this film. I don't think he was that young.
I don't think he was either.
But yeah,
but also it confused me because like, wasn't that also, I mean, we'll get there later, but isn't that also part of the whole plot is like he wants Jerry to be in the show, and like once Jerry starts falling for this girl, he's like, yeah, but you got a show on Tuesday.
Good point.
And it's like, okay, so why are you telling him to settle down? Why don't you want him to be single and not worried about women so that he could tap dance in your show?
Dancing, yeah.
Like,
focus
so
on your career, not women.
That didn't really make sense to me because he was like the number one person that was worried about like, are you going to make it to the show?
Good point, yeah. So Jerry has another urge and breaks into song like mid-sentence because, he basically prefers the life of a single independent man. And we jump into our first song, which is called No Strings, I'm Fancy Free. After he starts singing and breaking out into tap dancing and, doing all of his like high kicks and slapping the walls, slapping the furniture. I mean, what are your thoughts on this first song?
I thought it was good. I thought it set up his plot line very easily. I mean, like, here he is. He doesn't want to get married. He's fancy free.
He just
wants to tap.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's clean, and yeah, it gives you that taste of like, check it out. Like,
yeah, this is it. I just want to tap, man. Yeah, I thought it was good. One of the things that I noticed, I don't know why I always do this. I don't know why my brain has to like equate one person to another. But when I saw young Fred Astaire, I thought that he looked like Stan Laurel from Laurel and Hardy.
Oh, okay.
Like he just had that like long, gangly kind of like maybe obviously not as like goofy or silly looking, but like he just had that kind of similar facial structure.
Sure.
And so
that's an interesting.
It was very. I know it was very funny that was my first thought when I saw him. But like, the guy's freaking talented. Like he's such a great dancer. So great first number.
Yeah. So he's making all this racket upstairs, right? And the camera pans downward to the hotel suite that is below them, where he has awakened Dale Tremont, played by Ginger Rogers. After some phone calls to the hotel manager reporting and complaining about the noise up above, she eventually just goes upstairs herself and complains. She's over it.
Before we get upstairs, can we just talk about the camera panning down to Ginger Rogers? Like, what a great shot that was, because I love watching a film star sleeping in a movie.
And like waking up
full, no, just
full
like
makeup?
full makeup, curls, maybe a little wrap, like a little bow in her hair. Like she's sleeping, guys. She's sleeping.
Yeah, but hair done
Like,
perfectly.
oh, just bathed in the glowing light,
Hmm.
and her eyes maybe flutter open a little bit, and oh,
Something that carries on in film history for quite some time because that's used, I mean, probably.
what, just being made up in bed?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
I don't think.
Well, the way that it's shot, at least the way it's shot, like I can think of, yeah, movies from like the 60s and 70s using that same type of technique where it almost is like it's so ridiculous. It's like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy, you know.
Well, yeah, this whole movie is definitely obviously a fantasy but I'm here for it. Now I just feel like I need to sleep like that every night. Like I need to just be
In your
like,
giant, beautiful robe, your boa
yeah,
robe.
it just seems so
Oh my
luxurious.
gosh. So yes, she gives up waiting for the hotel manager because she's got like plaster and ceiling tiles falling down in her suite. And yeah, after there's Jerry meets her and apologizes to her. He basically confesses that his dancing affliction strikes him at like the oddest moments, and just instantly decides that that is the girl for him. I think he liked a lot of her like kind of cat and mouse like banter that she had with him, that she wasn't just such a damsel, but went up there to go do the job herself to tell him to like, hey, dude, zip it. Jerry describes to Horace that the complaint he had just seen, that she was basically like the most lovely, the most delightful, and the most charming woman, and so he wants to put her to put her to sleep. So he softens the noise by doing like his official Sandman dance by sprinkling sand on the floor to do yeah, it's like a soft shoe Sandman dance, and the camera then pans back to Dale, who's now snuggled in her bed, and ends up, and they all end up actually falling, like yawning and falling asleep.
That was a cute dance number.
Yes, I love this sand dance. It is super super cute. I love how he sprinkles a little bit of sand on the ground, and then like all of a sudden it's just like there's like a ton of sand everywhere that he's dancing in. Like,
Oh, there's no need to show the pound of sand they're about to put on the
right,
ground. Like,
exactly. It's like here's a little sprinkle that he grabs from like a dish in like the hallway or something like that, and like throws out on the ground. But yeah, it's really really pretty, and it's a cute scene. So the next day, trying to court Dale, he purchases most of the flowers in the hotel flower shop, and he sends a card that says it's from your silent admirer. He asks that they be charged back to Mr. Hardwick in room 404. After Jerry leaves, the flower salesman wanders over to his assistant, cameo. Shout out to Lucille Ball for having a little cameo in
yes.
this.
I feel like she should have cheated the camera a little bit.
Oh,
Because,
yes.
like,
Yes.
I remember that
It was in the blink of an eye, right?
well, not just that, but like I feel like I had read about this cameo, and so like when we were watching it and you were like, "Oh, that's Lucille Ball," and I'm looking at like the back of her ear. Like, I don't know, the director didn't really give her much like to
Yeah.
work with. I would have like turned my shoulder a little bit because
You would have
I
did
just feel
the stage exit and make sure the whole
yes.
audience saw your face before
I
you
don't know.
left.
I just felt like I feel like from what I'm remembering, like her face wasn't really towards the camera as much, so it was harder to notice. Also, hair and makeup back then, it's not giving Lucy Ricardo. So like she did look very different,
Oh, true.
but her face
Yeah.
was not. She should have cheated the camera a little bit. She should have been talking at an angle.
Yeah, so the salesman chats with her, and is she they wonder about what Dale's Italian dress designer, who is Alberto Bedini, played by Eric Rhodes, they're wondering how Alberto is going to react. You picked up on something in this scene, babe, that was like, it was a quote that was said that it was about, I wonder if Mr. Bedini is what he's going to say about this. The desk clerk has basically given off the impression that she's being taken care of by Mr. Bedini, and that all of Dale's niceties are coming from him, in regards to dresses, and that her niceties are of the most very nice qualities. You picked up on that when they said that, because we went back and forth a little bit about, like, was that just a way of them saying that this Italian designer was Dale his muse? Was he courting Dale? Was he like a sugar daddy for Dale? How do you take that?
They were trying to make it seem like that was her, like she was a kept woman. Like,
Got it.
like
Got it.
he's you know, keeping her in a lifestyle that is very lavish.
So hinting that they had some sort of an underground romance going on, or a behind the scenes romance, maybe.
I think so. I think
Okay.
that's how they were
Alluding to it.
alluding to it. But then I feel like when you got the scene of them, just the two of them, it seemed like more of a business agreement, didn't it? Like,
A bit.
it did not seem like she was interested in him at all. He obviously was interested in her, but the way that they talked about the situation was like, I'll make you beautiful gowns if you wear them. So maybe, I guess, like a muse, but almost like if a socialite was going around to a party and wearing someone's gown, and then somebody's going to ask her, like, oh, who are you wearing? And it's like, I'm wearing Alberto Bedini.
Mm-hmm.
Then he's going to get more buzz behind him, and people are going to want to wear his clothes.
Yeah.
That's how I took it.
Yeah. So when Jerry finds Dale dressed in her riding clothes the next day, he offers to take her to the Academy stables, and she declines. He randomly takes the place of a horse like cab driver, and she discovers that it's him because he can't contain his tapping feet. Tapping in the driver's seat, like basically keeping rhythm with the way that the horse hoofs are hitting the street. And so Dale spots that it's him through the cab's little like trapdoor. She's slightly amused by it. There's this quote about, how he has strange powers over horses when they arrive to the academy. She tips him a coin and suggests to him that he buys himself a new hat.
I love that, like, stalking and kidnapping is like charming in a movie in the 30s. Like, oh, like, she doesn't really like me, but I'm gonna keep
her.
trying. Oh no, I'm not just gonna follow her. I'm gonna pay off the cab driver, and I'm gonna or the horse driver or whatever, and I'm gonna just take her. Like, oh, that's so sweet.
Oh my gosh.
I love a sweet kidnapping story.
While she's riding at the park, there is a thunderstorm that breaks out, and she takes shelter in like this covered band gazebo area. Jerry, of course, drives back up in his little horse carriage, and he offers to rescue her. But of course, Dale being Dale, she refuses because she's like, no, it's fine. I don't need your help.
She's like, you kidnapped me once. I'm not gonna let you kidnap me again.
Yeah, seriously. In pure Hollywood fashion, we have a sudden thunderstorm that startles her and sends her like flying into his arms. Scientifically, Jerry like explains how a thunderstorm is similar to a kiss, and the Hollywood sparks glisten and fly between the two of them, and they kiss. First, he sings "Isn't This a Lovely Day?" and it basically is a song to break down her defenses and change her mood. And although she listens, her back is turned to him most of this song. So it is a song, and then turns into a bit of a dance number. It's broken up into like almost like two different parts. So yeah, this song, Isn't This a Lovely Day? Well, the song and the dance, if we're kind of looping them both together, I will say, I do love that we do get to see Ginger in pants and we get to see her dancing in pants. Because yeah, I mean like it's fun to like see her dancing
Well, if we're
around her
talking about the
slacks.
pants, I love the riding outfit that she's wearing. I I was thinking like, oh, is this what like actual riding outfits looked like back in the day, or was this like a Hollywood film stylish version of a riding outfit? Because I was
Yeah.
like, ooh, this is so like so chic, like she looks so great. I don't know like if this was just what women dressed like when they were riding horses,
Yeah,
or if
because we've
like
seen
it
Hollywood
was.
riding horse, like we've seen them in like the Betty Davis movie. Is it Little Foxes? No, that's a different era, right? What
Well,
am I
that movie
thinking
is from
of?
that era, but the plot is from an
Yeah,
earlier
the costumes
time.
are from an earlier time. You're right. You're right. But yes, Hollywood riding horse outfits, they are always really, really
Are you
pretty.
thinking of Dark Victory,
Possibly.
where she's an heiress that's losing her sight?
Yeah, possibly.
Maybe.
But I think you're right about that.
I
It's
just thought
like,
it was like
are these really
these
right?
are like, is this realistic, or is this like riding outfit by Adrian or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like?
seriously. Her hairstyle also in this particular scene reminds me a lot of Norma Shears, but it could just simply be because that was this era, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, the mid 30s. I think that that was kind of the style. But yeah, if anyone knows
Norma
Norma
Shearer
Shear.
always had like a really cool wave to her hair. Like while I was watching this, it didn't really give me Norma. It gave me like Shirley Temple because
Oh,
like.
well, this scene.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this
Because like
scene.
the ringlets in Ginger's hair were ringleting this
Mm,
entire
mm,
movie. Like
mm-hmm.
she had like
Oh, especially the bedroom scene too.
full on
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
right out of the curler, but like don't touch it. Just spray it. Like let it be like a fresh, crispy curl. Like,
Oh my gosh.
that's what I got from her hair a lot of this movie. But yes, like I could see if
The wave,
the
yeah.
wave is very Norma Shearer.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I liked the song. I loved the dance. I did like seeing her dance in pants, like you said. I just she's connected to him in such a way that I could understand why they made 10 movies together. Like this one particularly, like because it's supposed to be her being very icy towards him and then it slowly kind of melting. A lot of the dance, they're not touching. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're and I have to think that that is probably like 100 times harder than holding someone and dancing because they have to keep that distance perfectly the entire time. They're probably like a foot away from each other, but like every dance move they do, they're not getting accidentally farther away from each other. They're not getting any closer to each other. They have to keep this perfect measured out distance the entire time. And that's what I was fixated on is like they are so connected when they dance that even without holding each other, their choreography is like perfect. Their precision, they're in it. And I just was like, that is so cool to watch because like little things like that maybe when you first see it, you think like, oh, like what a cool dance number. But then when you think about it even more, having to not just dance side to side from someone, but they're dancing around each other and around the entire structure of that gazebo and having to keep that perfect distance, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, that has to be so much harder.
Yeah, because there aren't a ton of songs in this movie. When I was doing a little bit of research on some of the different dances, you are absolutely right. When it comes to this dance number, it is something that's more called of like a challenging mimic style of dancing. They Fred said that a lot of it was taken from like Spanish style dancing where the man will almost like coerce you into a dance with him, and the objective is to get your partner to mimic the dancing that you're doing. So I think that whatever you picked up on is absolutely what they were trying to get across because the style of it is a very like challenge mimicking style of dance. And you're right, when it ends, they are facing towards each other. I mean, they build up to that moment where they're facing each other at the end, and they almost touch, and she like refrains from falling into his
Mm-hmm.
arms at the end. So yeah, you definitely
Yeah,
hit
so
the nail on the head with that.
whether they're mimicking or whether they're face to face to each other, there's this distance that they had to kind of keep that had they not been so in sync would have looked sloppy, I feel.
Right. There's a phrase that's said by his producer, that he says something along the lines of, "Are you sure you didn't forget yourself when you were with her?" I thought that that was a very interesting phrase. I don't know. I'm assuming it means like make sure that you don't like get out of line or get, too handsy. I don't think that means like to keep a clear head. I think it means almost like stay in line as like being like a gentleman, but it is something that was used, and I try to do a little fact finding on it, but if anyone knows where that phrase comes from, but yeah, the actual quote was, "Are you sure you didn't forget yourself when you were with her?"
Did you try to did you forget um your manners basically?
Yeah, like being a gentleman.
Yeah, that's how I took it at least.
This whole dance number, I think, is about 3 minutes long. And so, if anyone's a dance student out there that's listening to this, I suggest you study the crap out of this scene because, as Jeffrey just said, it is very, very interesting the way that it is choreographed. At the end of this marvelous dance sequence, they do dance off in front of the gazebo area, realizing that it's raining. Before the final fade out, they smile. They do like a smirk towards each other, and they shake each other's hands. Back at the hotel, Dale must explain to Alberto, the dress designer, who exactly is the one that's sending her the room full of flowers. And although it seems unlikely at this point, she exclaims that, she knows who her admirer is, but he only wants to be known as Adam. I've seen him, I've talked to him, I've danced with him. And Alberto reminds her that she's promised to go to Italy to meet this confidant of his, which is Madge, and model his clothes. And so she's stubborn. She refuses at first. Dale receives a telegram from Madge, from Venice, suggesting that she look up her husband, which is Horace, who's Jerry's boss, the producer, and that he's staying at he's staying at the same hotel that Dale is staying at in London. So here's where things get interesting, you guys. At the hotel desk that evening, Dale inquires about Horace's room and learns that he's in room 404, which was the room that is above hers. The clerk points him out holding a briefcase and a cane over on like the mezzanine area. Well, Jerry and Horace, they end up crossing paths up on the mezzanine, and Dale doesn't see it. So the guys like switch their briefcase and canes, and this is where the whole mistaken identity really like starts to take off, because naturally she's furious. She goes up to him and sees him, and she's like, "Wait a minute, like wait, Horace, like you're the one that I'm falling for, and you're dancing and flirting with me. Like you're married to my friend Madge. Like what is going on here?" So this is the key plot development about what's going on with the mistaken identity and the whole romantic complications of it all that obviously gets resolved, but much later in the film. Am I about right on that, babe?
That was a lot. That was a lot.
But
That
I
was a
mean, did it
lot.
make sense?
For a little, that was a lot. But yes, that's the key mistaken identity where yeah, that hadn't came.
Yeah. So Jerry greets Dale in the lobby. Their encounter creates this like scene in front of an elevator where they I don't know. She's pissed off at the situation because of what's going on, and she slaps him. And understandably, she like rejects any further romantic advances from him because she believes that he's a married man. He, of course, is completely astonished by the whole rapid like turnabout of everything and doesn't understand what's happened. Horace is worried once he hears about the slap that it's going to be some wildly publicized thing that's going to end up affecting the show. Dale is also uncomfortable about this whole idea of traveling to Italy, where Madge is, but she's going to, accompany her Italian dress designer because, I mean, let's not forget, she gets all of her niceties from him. So how much can she really push back? And Horace is concerned that the scandal is going to break out over the whole incident regarding the girl and Jerry, and assigns his like valet assistant Bates to basically trail Dale wherever she goes. So Dale ends up fleeing the hotel to Venice, followed by Horace's assistant Bates, and Jerry discovers that Dale is leaving town, and he goes to speak to the hotel maid. In the dressing room, following the first act of the London show that Jerry is in, they receive a telegram that was sent from Madge in Italy revealing Dale's destination and whereabouts. So, ironically, in a way, Madge has invited now both Dale and Jerry to Italy to introduce them to each other. Overjoyed, Jerry, of course, demands that Horace charter a plane right away and take them to Venice for the weekend so that he can follow Dale's flight. It's now Act 2. That was during intermission of their show. It's now Act 2. Jerry sprints towards the stage and performs the opening scene, the opening number of Act 2 for the London show, and it is the title song, Top Hat, White Tie, and Tails. This routine is known as like the centerpiece of the film's dance numbers. It is a solo performance by Astaire, backed by a bunch of, male chorus. What are your thoughts on that, babe? On Top Hat, White Tie, and Tails?
Do you mean like centerpiece because it's in the middle, or this is like the dance number that everyone thinks about? Because I definitely don't.
I think because it's in the middle.
Okay.
I think it's
that's okay. Then that makes more sense because I think it's great. I think that it's a cool number to look at. I don't think that when I left this film, I thought that it was the best number of the entire film.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely cool.
I mean, honestly, like I think that especially the hat choreography is really, really cool. There's a lot of cool choreography with the canes that he has, where he's almost using the cane as like a rifle, and like shooting shooting at the backup dancers. And yeah, it's a really cool scene. I think that even like the lighting changes to like the dim effects really like transition everything well. That concludes our review of the first half of Top Hat. So stay tuned next week for part 2. And in the meantime, why don't you go find us on social media? On Instagram and TikTok, we are at Hollywood Hubbies. So yeah, go find us, give us a follow, leave some comments, share the podcast. We appreciate everyone for listening in. So yeah, stay tuned next week.